Okay, so we're gonna finish Geometry Day 1. We only have, I think, like 3 slides, and we're done with that one, and then we'll talk about grid ends for just a minute. So, circles, you will see some circle problems on the SAT. Remember that circles have 360 degrees in them, and the area of a circle is pi r squared, and the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. Alright, so for any pi slice of a circle, so anytime you see like a little slice of a circle, it looks like a slice of pie. The central angle, that's this angle in here where the arc touches the center of the circle, the arc and the area are all in proportion to the whole circle. So for example, in this case, the central angle is 60 degrees. That's 1/6 of a circle, because 60 out of 360 would be 1/6. So that means that this arc would be 1/6 of the circumference, and this slice of this pie would be 1/6 of the total area. So you could find the circumference by doing 2 pi r. 1/6 of that would be this. You could find the area by doing pi r squared. This would be 1/6 of that. So just remember to use a proportion to find either what we call arc length or sector area. Alright, so I think we're ready for the circles quick quiz. So if you flip back in here, it should be quick quiz number 4. So look for where it says quick quiz number 4 at the top. On the medium question, the shaded regions are here and here. So when you're trying to do the medium one and it talks about the shading, that's what's shaded on the medium one. Alright, so take about 5 minutes and try those 3, and then we'll go over them. Okay, so we'll go over these circle problems. Okay, so the first one, you have a circle, the center of Q, and that center is located at the point 4, 3. And they want you to tell the circumference of the circle. Well, the circumference is 2 pi times the radius. And they'll give you that formula at the start of the section. So if you don't remember that formula, be sure you look back at it. So we need the radius. And the radius is the distance from the center to the edge of the circle. And the one that we can actually find would be this one, because we know that that is 3 units high. So the radius would be 3. So 2 pi times 3 would be 6 pi. Alright, the next one. If the circumference of the circle above is 16 pi, what's the total area of the shaded regions? So they give you the circumference. It's 16 pi. And you can use that to find the radius, because you'll need the radius to do anything with the area, because remember, area is pi r squared. So if the circumference, 16 pi, came from this formula, 2 pi r, that's the formula for circumference. You can cancel out the pi's, get pi's on both sides, and then divide both sides by 2. The radius would have to be 8. Which means that the area of the whole circle, if you plug in 8 for r into the area formula, would be 64 pi.
Divided by 2.
And then it's half the circle that's shaded, right? You can tell it's half because if these are both 90, those add up to 180. That means that this is the other half of the circle, the other 180 degrees. So half of that, 32 pi. So use the circumference to get the radius, because you need the radius to find the area. Once you have the area, then you can figure out what half of it would be. Alright, one circle has a radius of r and another has a radius of 2r. The area of the larger circle is how many times the area of the smaller circle. I would just make something up for these, and then figure out what the area would be for each each of those. So let's say I make the smaller circle have a radius of 2 and the larger one have a radius of 4. Then the smaller circle would have an area of 4 pi, while the larger circle would have an area of 16 pi. So how many times larger is it? 4 times larger. Plugging in is always a good strategy to use on problems like that. So try to use it whenever you can. All right, so that's it for Geometry Day 1. Now, I have here Geometry Day 2 packets, but we don't really have time to do all of this. So I've already recorded these, and the first part is already online, and I'll show you here in a second where to find them online. But the rest of it I'll post either today or tomorrow, because I just finished recording it today. So I'll go ahead and give you all the packet, so if you want to go home and watch these videos, you don't have to print this whole packet out on your printer at home. Y'all already have it, right?
Yeah.
So, let me show you where to find this stuff online, and then we'll talk about grid ends and some general test taking strategies, and then we'll be done.
Any questions?
So, if you've missed any of the classes at all, if you go online, to the high school website, and then you go to teacher websites and you find my name. Off to the left over here it says SAT prep class. So if you click on that, here's links. These are PDFs of all the handouts, and there's a pre-test if you want to take a practice test. There's answers to all of the problem sets that are in here. And then there's videos. Now, I post these on YouTube, and it only lets me post up to 15 minutes at a time. And not all of these are 15 minutes long. Sometimes a 15 minutes is not a natural break in the video, so I have to break it earlier than that. But you can go in and watch all these videos. We've had 6 weeks of classes. So these last two, the Geometry Day 2 is the only one we couldn't get to in class. So I've posted the first part of that already, and I'll post the second part later. And then grid ends we're about to do, so I'll post that too. But and then I'll post obviously what we just did, the circle stuff. So, but you can go through. There was one day that the camera quit working in the middle, and I didn't go back and record that. But everything else that we've done is online, so you can go look at that. Okay, so we're gonna look at